Now, hello everyone. I would like to welcome you all to a game called Skysaga. It doesn't run fantastic because it is an alpha. Pretty early alpha to the point that well, it's not optimized. It also misses a lot of content, but generally speaking, the core gameplay is there, so I figured that's good enough. Currently in the social hub, where people hang out and do stuff, though there's not a lot of people right now. Those are people, by the way. Little question marks. But we are going to go home and we're just gonna show off my house a bit, because I want to do updates as this game continues and progresses through it. Now this is what alpha should be: is the core game is there. It just lacks content, polish, refinement. You know, just the kind of stuff that comes when you're sure that your game is what it needs to be. You know, you shouldn't make content before you even know what your core gameplay is gonna look like. You know, because that's just dumb. So this is a crash site. My idea right now is just to fix this place up a bit with coral stone, keep with the theme, maybe build something more interesting looking down there. I'm actually considering partially removing this area and replacing that with a more homely estate. Too bad I can't move the portal, because I'd probably move it over there and fix it up a bit. But I'm fine with the way it looks right now. We're gonna go on a little adventure. Which one? Who knows? We'll see that when we get there. Okay, alright, my equipment should last for this one. And if it really hurts me, I can always make some materials and do it on the fly, as they say. You have daily quests right now, so honestly, there's that. Although, again, the one thing that also bothers me is that I don't know what equipment does. There are different material types you can use: sky iron, sun steel, frost steel, verdinite, rose iron. And the problem with these materials is, and equipment you wear, is that it's very unclear what it really does. It's not even like a vague hint like, oh, sunsteel is faster, and sunsteel is known as a light and powerful, but also brittle material. Or something like frost steel is known as a powerful material, but unfortunately is also more expensive to make. You know, that kind of stuff. I didn't find any of that, and that kind of disappointed me. Wow. When they said palace, they weren't kidding, and yeah, frame rate is kind of odd, because normally Fraps doesn't, you know, allow frame rates that aren't perfectly 30. Yeah, it is not optimized. It already runs pretty bad, even without this. And it's odd, because it is an online game. It wants to be an MMO, to some extent, so it's kind of really odd that it would work this way. Like, the thing with most MMOs is that you want to have the smoothest possible experiences. And yes, there's a temperature bar up there. There is actually equipment that helps you regulate like, I'm running this on the lowest settings, by the way. And it still runs like butt. And look at this. This is not that intense looking to me. Then again, that's optimization for you. That stuff does a lot. No, truth be told, it's not like this is moving any faster. I mean, with lag, you're generally looking at similar sort of things. I don't know where they get bleachwood from, since there are no bleachwood trees here right now. Your only source of bleachwood is actually your own home. Oh my god, I just remember this game is very excited to constantly keep tuning in the combat tune a lot. So you'll be hearing that a lot every time an enemy sees you, and the spawn restrictions right now are non-existent, meaning that enemies generally just spawn in everywhere around you at any given time. There's a stamina bar, by the way, and you can do side dodges and back dodges, and you can dash. You can do power strikes from the air. If you get in the orange, you can't use it anymore, which generally means that if you're trying to do a power attack or a jump or dash, you can't do it, but you can go into it. Like, if you're running, you won't stop until it's fully empty. Something in here, huh? Yeah, once you see a chest, it shows up on your minimap, which is neat. Hello. 20 frames per second. I don't know what the hell Fraps is doing. Because the silly thing about Fraps is that it usually doesn't let you do that. Did I already have a croup bow? No, I have a short bow. Yeah, they changed a lot recently. They pulled out a lot of, I don't know what they did. I think they pulled out a lot of old content. They changed a lot of names around. They made a lot of starter items no longer available. Like, there's a lot of equipment that's really looks simple to make, but you can only get by finding it. What a nice little area. I don't know why I insist on doing this stuff while sitting on my side all this time, but... Yeah, there is durability, by the way. You can repair things or dismantle them. Durability mostly has an impact on how many items you will recover when you dismantle it, and if it breaks, I don't know what happens. I don't know if it vanishes or if it just, you know... I guess I should pick up someone's loot one day and just use it and see what happens. This little cactus. Chop it down for some food. Juicy, juicy cactus bitties. I have no idea what this fortress is like. That's going to be an interesting question. You do have shields, but right now, shields are hard to use. For one, there's no tangible benefit to using shields, since people are going to hit you anyway, and it doesn't give you any opportunity to attack, so you're just sort of tanking it in return for stamina. I don't see the value in that. One thing I do find interesting is that it's a polished thing to have enemies have AI where they run away after a certain amount of damage, but for some reason it's in there. When you break stuff, by the way, it usually just gives you an assortment of materials that would be found in that thing, or be required to make that thing. But you start out with so few recipes that it's kind of hard to do much, and the recipes are expensive. They are in the tens of thousands, and chests usually give you a few hundred or something. So that's another thing that I think that's going to weave in nicely with their monetization scheme. I like how even at 20 frames a second, it's still perfectly playable. Something you gotta do when you make an online game is remember that. Now here's an interesting thing. I think it has international restrictions, because I know a guy named Weem, and he's not on here. Which I think speaks volumes, but that's alright, you know, because you don't want... If you're gonna make a system, you don't want international lag coming up. Most of the time. I don't know if that's the problem. It could be. It sounds like the only logical reason why I can't find him, considering that he's still online. The only thing really worth going for are the chests right now. Anything else is just really a waste of time to go for. Except the boss. The boss usually gives out dark hearts, which are great. I don't know what he's doing, but dark hearts are actually only just required to go to hard areas and make dark keystones, which, you know, are used in that big thing that I showed off earlier, where you do put the thing in and it goes whoosh, and then you open a portal. Your health bar is very odd. From what I see, you have two healths. You have your health and your light health. Light health is gained by eating, but not resting at a campfire. Like, I have the things to run this. I have the specs to run this. Although, I did think it said like 8 gigabytes for some reason. Odd thing, of course, being that... Don't know why his weapon keeps lighting up. Like, you can tell it's not optimized by one specific trait. Even though I'm currently standing inside, and most renderers would just say everything outside of this building stops existing, it doesn't do that, it seems. It just seems to render everything all the time. Which is the biggest thing I can imagine a renderer not doing properly, and taking up lots of space that it should not be taking up. What I do like right now, though, is that, in case you haven't noticed, that guy had another torch. His torch was probably made out of something like kingwood or something. Different kinds of woods and materials, I said, have impact on what something is. It also has impact on what color some things have. Like, these are made with kingwood, and if I can get them in the light, you can see that they're actually made with purple handles. And these are, I think, made with bleachwood, so they have, like, nice, white guards. It's pretty cool. But that system is already in place. Like, it's just not worth fighting enemies. There's the big chests. Loot is player specific, so if someone loots a chest before you, don't worry. I don't know what the hell that was about. But it suddenly decided that I wasn't going to be playing anymore. I assume it's a Skype pop-up that happens in the background, because someone posted to me, and then all kinds of weird stuff tends to happen. Because Skype does not play by anybody's rules. Meat. Good for healing. Here's another thing I want to ask. Are you sure you want to make an MMO that is this intense on your machine? This is a question that I have. Like, the fact that materials don't tell me anything about what they do, that's annoying enough, but do you really want an MMO that can only run on beefy machines? This is something you should fix as early as possible. Like, right now it seems to be mostly in that phase where it's like, hey, get the people with the big machines to run it. You know, the YouTubers and the audiences, because they can make all the this is one of those legacy items that should have been taken out, but it hasn't. Like, it's not more effective. It's actually worse at chopping wood than my pickaxe is, surprisingly. Look at all that meat. Anyway, we're gonna dismantle this because I don't like having a lot of items everywhere. This game is oddly polished in some places, and oddly not polished in other places. Ooh, I don't have one of those. Yeah, there's a Skyr and Scimitar. Can't make one of them, but I can repair it and use it then. Anything else I really want to do? No, I'm good. Oh, I've got a bunch of quests that I could do. Groundwood planks, those should be easy enough to find. Defeat 10 bandits. That's gonna be... Well, let's complete the desert adventure. So you get 5 daily quests, and there are guilds, factions, so to speak. The factions are Settler, which focuses on building and construction, and materials and such. You've got Explorers, which are about going around beating up stuff, and Gladiator, which is gonna be a PvP thing. Now it runs at 30. That's just wonky. Oh my god, I hate it when my chest is full. Oh no, this is the wrong chest for those things. This is my chest where I keep all my linen. Je ne sais quoi. Usually laying all the sky iron for when I want to construct things. Although again, because color does transfer, there is something to be said for holding on to using certain materials in order to get certain flares on things, you know? Because look at these chests have these colors because I made them out of that particular material. Apparently I have nowhere to store a raw goat. When the hell do I intend to find raw tiger? Like, I don't take this stuff out. This is here for emergencies. And emergencies only. Okay, what do we need for the quests? We need groundwood planks. I should have some of that. Apparently it was originally called rootwood. Yeah, they changed a lot of names. I don't know why. A lot of name changes happened, and a lot of wikis and stuff are not up to date. I don't know when the last update was to Alpha 4, but I do know that a lot of the changes, like, it's a very blurry game, and it's too blurry to the point that you have to literally discover everything yourself. Even Dark Souls wasn't that kind of blurry, you know? Even Dark Souls is like, this is what something tentatively does. If you really care about that kind of stuff, this is approximately what it does, you know? But here it's like, no, I'm just, it's a sword. It does sword things. I don't know how much better it is than your other sword. It's just a sword. It took 2 minutes to make instead of 1, so it's better. I'm not going to tell you how much better or in what classifications it's better or worse. It just is better in some respect. And I'm like, why would you make a system like that without even a little bit of clarification? Oh, no. As you can see, my experience bar it goes up and up and up, and it looks really cool. There's a fun little thing. That experience bar is only my settler bar, and when I turn in my explorer quests, it's gonna go all green for a moment. And change its icon. Hey. Oh, you see the quest tab here. It's gonna turn to that icon for a bit. Gladiator's not available right now. I'll show that off, and then we'll call it quits. I think I'm gonna start working more on my house, though. Without any recipes to fluff it up, it's just gonna be a boring place. I haven't even seen anything that looks like a shop or a subscription model or anything, so I don't even know what their plan is. If it's just going to be a super long-term thing or what. But again, the biggest... It's alpha. Like, the biggest problems are mostly just content restrictions. Yay. That gives me another explorer token, and... Ooh. I think I actually specifically wanted blue desert survival armor, which means you have to make it out of blue materials. Which, again, is pretty neat if I knew what it did. Wow, a Skyrim pickaxe. I only have 2 of those. Right, every day I get a daily adventure, which is also pretty cool. But that's that. So yeah, as I said right now, it's clearly alpha. It's the core gameplay is there, what they want to do is there, but for the rest, it's just nothing there. Like, you really gotta be motivated. Then again, if you build something, it does look pretty good. Like, just about everything that has been built in this looks pretty good. You know? It looks nice, the colors are nice and vibrant and clear. It fixes every problem that I sort of had with Trove. Trove was weird, in my respect. In my mind, was just a very odd game. It was like Cube World, but it wasn't, and there was stuff going on, but then there wasn't. Here, look, it's just nothing. It's pretty cool. That they have it here, though, and it looks pretty cool. I think the problem with Trove is that it relied way too much on the players building stuff. It was way too much. You decorate the place up a bit, you know? You spruce up that main hub area. And I'm like, really? Come on, put in your own effort. Make clear what you want. That thing didn't have a hitbox, did it? No, it didn't. Let's get out of here. Day-night cycle's kind of wonky. It's way too dark at night, man. It is way too dark. And every time you lay loading screen, you get a little thing of this. Until I think it's Namco Bandai finally releases their goddamn patents on loading screen minigames, this is the best they can do. Unless they're still going to sue. Because suing is fun. Yeah, this place, by the way, looks a lot more decrepit when you show up. One of the entrances is even completely blocked up. But hey, that's improvement for you. It looks a lot nicer now. It looks all clean and not covered in trees. You can't grow trees, so this is, I think, the only supply of bleach wood in the entire game right now. Because I haven't seen any elsewhere. But that's that. Oh yeah, I think I might as well show you the crafting interface, because that's the one thing we haven't done yet. How crafting works. So crafting is, you might have seen this in other games. I think there's Craftyverse that did this as well, where every module has a queue at the top, and they have a little, you have a selection box you can pick from, and you're like, I want to make that. And you make it. What do I need in order to fix this thing? I think it's mostly, it's rods, and I need 3 iron weights and 4 rods. Now I have I have weights and rods, but I'm gonna just make it. No, I have enough rods right now, so I might as well make some other stuff. And go over here, and we're gonna slot it in. And you can pick your material. You can make sunsteel, but we don't need sunsteel. Sunsteel won't work because that's not what it's made of. The repair materials are almost always what the weapon is made of. So you can see, it goes like that. As you can see, the bow is made out of those materials, so naturally it would require those to be fixed. Here's the funny thing. Even if you're out of sight of your own world, eventually you get a little bleep right at the top left that tells you the thing is done at your home base, and you can walk up to it and just gives you your stuff. That is a really neat system, because it means I can just run around like a crazy person and everything happens behind my back. And now it's all patched up and ready to go. Like, you can't even make a crude bow. I haven't found any crude bows other than the ones you would find as drops, so... There's been a large shift, and no one bothered to make sure that everything is up to date, you know. But then again, that's polish for you. And even though there's polish in the odd place, this is Kingwood, by the way. It's purple. It's really nice. Even though polish is in the weird places, it'll change. It's Alpha 4. We're not even in beta. Once it gets in beta, I'm going to be really critical on that stuff, and I'm going to say that's not going to pass, man. You should have that fixed out by now. Then again, I don't even know what beta's for. I guess there's no real strict definition. A good definition would be alpha, getting the core gameplay to work right. At the end of alpha, you know what the hell your game's supposed to be and how it's supposed to work out. And everything is there to make it work. And when you go to beta, you're mostly fine-tuning the surrounding elements, like the content and the environments and how you can build things later if you intend to make expansions, you know. It's sort of the phase where you start to look, how does this really integrate into the game space? And at the end of that, once you have your little game space, you go into, I don't know, you could always make like a pre-release early access that isn't beta, that's just like, we're almost done, we're just trying to fine-tune the final discrepancies out. There's a plank. Yeah, once a material has touched gravity, it just ignores all gravity forever. And that's really kind of dumb. Oh yeah. I guess I might as well show this off, which is pretty neat, I guess. I need some blocks, though. So when you mine a block, it ends up in your pocket almost immediately. But here's the funny thing. For whatever reason, your character is a vacuum cleaner. And I like it, because it means you can do this. Instead of vacuum everything into your pocket. I've not even seen a use for bones. Let's take a look at the Chronicle. I like this. I like a little manual that tells me what things are for. What is this for? Nothing. Oh, wait a second. So this... Okay, so they are going to explain it. But right now, this is just metal. This is not sky iron or any of the actual materials. It's just... Oh, it's metal. Okay, so there's... Yeah. Clearly, there's a lot of... Yeah, you can only make bets. Unless, as you get recipes, it fills them in. It's like, oh, you got a new recipe, now I'm going to tell you what it's for. That is not smart? Question mark, question mark? If I pick up a very rare material and it says me it's used for nothing, I'm not going to take it with me. And maybe it's super duper rare and super expensive, but I'm like, it's useless. But it isn't, because I didn't know. You don't want to have that happen. You might want to make something in the Chronicle that says, oh... This item cannot be made yet. And this item can be made. And I'm like, yeah, good, I get that. But as of right now, I think it works fine. I do wish you could move the portal, because it's not in the best place if you want to make something custom. But hey, place is looking good, looking spiffy. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. The link in the description will take you to the website, at least the European website, because that's where I keep getting redirected to. Because you know I'm in Europe. But other than that, that's all I've got to say. It's pretty good. I might do some progress videos as updates are launched and this environment changes because I make small additions to it. Yeah. I was going to show you off mining, but that stuff is boring. There is some stuff underground. Sometimes you'll find a Yeti hut, sometimes you just find a bandit in a chest, and you're like, yay. Or you find some keystone material like this. This is where keystones come from. So these things, and you put them in a little keystone developer, and you make out some fresh stuff. I think I've noticed this. You're a bit slow. But that might be all the plate mail, which apparently makes you slower. Like, this stuff is really durable, which is good. Because nobody likes having to constantly repair their armor. Again, it would be nice if I knew what the hell this stuff did. But that'll come. Maybe that's not even in place yet, but it can't be. And here's my factual proof. It takes 2 hits. 3 hits. It takes 3 normal hits when I use a normal pickaxe, which means that clearly these materials, these weapons are completely separate from each other. One is better than the other. I just don't know how much. Oh, sweet. It doesn't actually show me any of the materials I haven't made myself. There's a lot of wood. There's a lot of wood in this game. See you guys next time. Whatever video that's going to be. Until then, this has been Skysaga, an upcoming MMO. That's probably going to be more fun than Trove was, because I don't know what's wrong with Trove. I don't remember. But I do know that I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed this. I mean, this is an alpha stage, and I'm like, whee! All over the place. Although, if I had to choose an item, I would say rocket gloves I can fit on my hands with little wings and just shoot myself forward like Superman. That would perfectly fit this scenario. That's something an ingenious inventor would make, just to launch himself around like a crazy person. I like this little boat. Looks so cute. You can pick it up and then it's in a big box. Everything comes in these weird wooden boxes. It's so silly. See you later.